Opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
I'm CJ.
And with us today, we have none other than the man, the legend, the head of the Flint Neighborhood Association, Mr. Carlos Caesar. Welcome.
Thank you. And like always, it's an honor to be here between friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes with different opinions, but friends.
Right. See, what we've proven here is that contrary to popular belief, we can disagree without being disagreeable. And it's a classic example. We have had differing opinions on certain issues, but they're on the issues. Nobody can refute the good you've done for the Flint neighborhood, and you know, we're all trying to make a better city.
Exactly. That's what we're looking for. It's all we do is for our city, not for you know, personal interest, because if I'm going to do something for my personal interest, then I'm going to be getting the CJ's opinion very personal. And they're not personal to me. That's his opinion, and he's entitled of his opinion, and I respect his opinion, even that I don't agree with them. But that's what makes us move, because if everybody decides to go all into one side of the boat's going to sink.
Very, very true. And while we're on that subject, we had some real exciting things happen yesterday. We've got a couple of exciting things that have happened over the last few days. We have a Fall River blocked the casino, or is attempting to block the casino in Tiverton, because you know how great we are and how much we love economic development, and heaven forbid that we allow something 400 feet away from the Fall River line to come in that could conceivably bring in thousands of people to within 400 feet of Fall River. And in reality, there's really nothing in that end of Tiverton. You know, most of the restaurants and the other things that they would frequent, it would be mostly in Fall River. But Fall River has managed to go back and look through 300 years worth of precedents and cases and stuff to block the casino. And we have not been able to figure out pay as you throw and get an ordinance through in a year or so. But you know, when it comes to being negative about some other community, let's put the kibosh on Tiverton.
Of course. Hey, why not? I mean, it only means jobs. Jobs for Tiverton, jobs for Fall River, jobs for Somerset. But of course, we have a mayor who doesn't care about jobs. That's what we're getting across here. But I think the biggest news, some of the biggest news, now remember, this is a mayor of transparency. This is the mayor of transparency. So the biggest news that Fall River has to face, which I think is very important, is the fact that last night, the Solid Waste Task Force, you know that group of people that are supposed to make a decision on whether or not we have pay-as-you-throw or what service we're going to use? They decided to throw the press and the public out of the meeting. And I was like, what? Alan Zarek was removed from, Alan Zarek is from WSAI, was removed from the meeting. And Mike Mioza and Dan Patello said, quoting, "Some of the members of the committee don't feel comfortable making comments at the meeting for fear of being quoted. If you're talking about the truth and you're representing the people of Fall River, why should you fear being quoted?" That's my first argument. Secondly, they say they are not subject to the open meeting law. They can have these private backdoor dealings, not a problem, because they're an advisory board to the mayor. And this came from Lou Pacheco, that they're an advisory board. Meanwhile, the mayor said in his press conference, "I will take the recommendations of this committee very seriously." Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we know how serious you're going to take it. You already included $3 million in the budget for pay-as-you-throw. So obviously there's no intent of getting rid of pay-as-you-throw, and there's absolutely no intent of listening to this committee, because guess what? They're all political hacks, every one of them. They all drank the Kool-Aid, and now he's trying to get us to do it. Not going to happen, not going to happen, not going to happen.
Well, we're going to let Caesar weigh in a sec, but Mr. Caesar, but I will tell you that, you know, it disturbs me that someone who represents or supposedly is attempting to move this community forward is worried about being quoted. I mean, unfortunately, we get quoted quite a bit, and we take the heat that goes along with it. The fact is, if you're working, and as Carlos said earlier, you know, we can disagree. You have a committee. I would expect people to have differing opinions. I would expect different perspectives on things. I would expect that we have debate on this issue. That's what we need. We need the transparency. We need to clear the air of all the various opinions on this issue. But no, they want to be able to meet behind closed doors and do who knows what, because they fear being quoted. This is a republic that we live in. You know, we pledge allegiance to the republic. This isn't a democracy, it's a republic. It's a representative form of government. Our government is supposed to represent us. They make committees up to get people from the people they represent to engage in the debate about something. But now it's been exposed that this is merely window dressing. It's just political hyperbole, so they can come out and spout platitudes and say, you know, and basically preach the party line. And I'm going to ask Carlos now, when you guys have meetings in the Flint neighborhoods, do you lock the door so nobody from the neighborhood can come in and hear what you got to say? I want to know.
No, my door, it's unlocked, and that calls for transparency. And on this point, I would like to say this, and I'm not going to talk as, you know, as a neighborhood leader. I'm going to talk as Carlos.
Taxpayer citizen.
Taxpayer citizen, whatever you want to call it. Here's a problem that's going on for 9 months. So it's very proved already that it's only one group is going to have to come up with the answer. And that group is the citizens. It's proved. So I will not, and I will never create another group to investigate for another 2 months and then come back to me as mayor with their idea, which I may not even agree with the results they're going to bring me after 2 months of investigations, whatever they want to call it. I will do the right thing that I think that should be done. I will grab the city by the horns, and I will open meetings. I will do open meetings for a month. Every Monday, I want to hear from you, the citizens. For those that are opposed of the bags, the ones that are with the bags, I want to hear from everybody. And that because, you know, I want to hear what you think is going to resolve the problem. After that, you know, I will make them to kind of make a poll. Let's see. Here's the opportunity. You're going to have a month to come in front of me and tell me your opinion. And I want to count your opinion. So now, based on that opinion, I'm going to see what the citizens of Fall River want. And my decision is going to be with the majority of the people that during 1 month is going to come in front of me. And guess what? This way, I'm going to do what the citizens want me to do. And nobody can throw me a rock on the end saying that I did what I want to do. You ask for, I give the way you presented to me.
Carlos.
That's what I think I will do it.
Carlos, we're going to have
Makes too much sense.
We're going to have to burn you with the stake. You're preaching heresy. What you're talking about, it sounds like a democracy. It sounds like the people running the government. What is wrong with you? That's probably why the Flint Neighborhood Association keeps electing you, because you preach this heresy. How can you do this? I don't understand. Public meetings, allowing the people to talk, taking the time from your schedule to listen to the people that you're supposed to be governing? Oh, my Lord.
Hey, I think Secret Agent Man's right outside the door here.
How do you know? I think somebody's been investigating.
No,
do we have him, CJ?
We need to realize one thing. The city's going through trouble. Everybody says. Everybody say. And until we sit down on one table with all the groups, opposite groups or positive groups, with all the groups, and we all can commit, okay, we're never going to resolve this problem. And 1 year from now, we're still going to be talking about the purple bags. Because guess what? The purple bags are already on the 16 fiscal year, okay? So it's like, it's an example. If this committee comes back and say, Mr. Mayor, purple bags, forget it, it's not going to work. We're going to have a total different direction. Now we're stuck because the money from the purple bags, it's already counted.
Which is illegal, by the way. Which is illegal. They put that money in the budget last year illegally. That was a fee that had not yet been approved, and the former administration put it into the budget, and the city council illegally approved that budget. Because remember, we don't have any meetings. We don't have any statements whatsoever. No deals are ever done at a coffee time. We never, ever, ever do a situation where we're at the coffee time. Because I'll tell you right now, people honestly believe that, oh, you know, this is just coffee talk. This is coffee chatter. Well, guess what? That's not what happens in Fall River.
Well,
who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
I'm afraid of that guy.
That was one of our stalkers reporting from the field.
Yeah,
the shadow
over a coffee chat.
That's right.
A coffee chat, which, by the way, you know, it's not to be credible. We even had one of the people who was involved in the recall turn around and said, "It's coffee talk. Nothing happens at coffee talk." Hey, guess what? The budget was approved last year over coffee talk. A meeting was held between Ray Mitchell, Mike Mioza, and Kathy Viveris. Knowing the budget was not sustainable, they met over coffee at Dunkin' Donuts and they approved it. Well, so this week, Jazel has a meeting at New Boston Bakery with Nick Bernia and other unidentified people. And statements were made in regards to they're not sure what's going to happen with the ordinance for enforcement for pay-as-you-throw. Okay? Mike Mioza is on the fence. Linda Pereira is trying to please everyone. Dan Rigo doesn't care. And Lou Pacheco is the replacement pit bull, the replacement enforcer for Ann O'Neill Souza. These are some of the comments that are made over coffee talk.
He's not a pit bull. Wait a minute. Let's wait. He raises West Highland Terriers.
That's right.
He's the West Highland Terrier. Come on, let's be accurate.
Let's be accurate, right.
Okay. But
I mean, this is the stuff that's going on in Fall River. And, you know, when I bring this out, I'm saying, well, if you know, and I am going to quote Councilor Correa, if you want to be considered a reputable news source, number one, I didn't post it on the website for this show or our news website. I posted it on my personal website. That was the first thing. But it's not my fault, Councilor Correa, that the people that you are having these meetings with and you're making these comments to don't like you. Because obviously if they did, they wouldn't be calling me with the information.
Well, you know, the fact we have here is that look, most of the things that happen in government happen in behind closed doors meetings and over coffee with politicians talking to other politicians, or politicians talking to the movers and the shakers and the money men and the people who always get richer while the city gets poorer. But, you know, that's the problem. You know, it doesn't seem, it has seemed to have become even more pronounced in the city of Fall River. And, you know, I think today is a great example. We have Carlos here. We have a man who who has done great things in his neighborhood and who continues to work. He works tirelessly for the city. He's not running for office. He's not doing it because he wants to have his name up in lights. He's not here for the accolades that I'm giving him now. But the fact is that he does it because he's truly invested in the community. And the fact is, whether you agree or disagree with what we say, the fact is we're here, we pay taxes, we're invested in the community, and you know, it's time for everybody to get out and let's, as Carlos said, let's talk about every single issue. Let's talk about it in the forum of public opinion, and let's do what the people want, not what the 9 city councilors have decided over a margarita or a beer or a coffee or anything, or behind closed doors. Not what any one particular neighborhood association wants. We have to put aside that, and we have to do what's good for the greater good of the city. Right, Carlo?
I try to be fair. I try to be fair. And every time that I have an idea, don't you think that I could get an idea done by myself, without helping, without contacting anybody else? But no, I mean, I had at least 2 or 3 meetings before we decided to buy the school. I met especially to talk about, should we buy the school? I want to buy the school, and I probably could make it everything alone. But no, I know I need an agreement from my people, the people that work along with me. And we all decided to buy it. So we went and we bought it. I was just in a meeting yesterday about a project that they want to do it either on the Flint or on the Corky Road. And I felt bad because the Corky Road was not there to talk about this project. So I said it there, it's not fair. I want to be in a meeting with a representative from Corky Road, and because they are part of this project. So, and I want to be fair. If the project comes to my neighborhood, it's going to be most than welcome. But I want to be fair and had conversation and had that other group on the table so we can discuss this project. So that's what I try to be. I try to be fair. I won for the Flint, but I want to be fair for the whole city, for the other neighborhoods. That's exactly what happened now with the movie night. I had the movie night last year. I liked it so much, and I had people saying, it's good because we don't have transportation, so we would like to have on our neighborhoods. So I fund the funds, and I open to every neighborhood now. And this year, instead of 2 movie nights, it's going to be 9 movie nights all over the city. So that's what I'm saying. You know, it's not just for me. I don't want just for me. I want for us. I want for our city. The Flint, it's not the city. The city is all the neighborhoods, and that's what I want. I want for the whole neighborhood.
Well, you know,
Carlos Caesar for mayor.
Yeah, but you know, while we're on, yeah.
I didn't know you didn't like me that bad.
But you know, that brings up a good point that you said that, Caesar, because you know, Carlos, you in your capacity, you know, as the president of the neighborhood, you have worked with mayors who you didn't support. And still got things done, and I think that I think you should basically tell people that I think you're an example of that. You don't have to agree, you don't even have to be politically aligned with somebody, but if you bring a good idea to somebody and you push it, that's the key. The key is that, listen, they complain about CJ and I all the time, but the fact is, listen, we're willing to go anywhere, anytime, and debate anybody on the merits and our position. And the reality is the way this system should work and the way this government should work and the way it should be is that we present our case, they present their case, and as you said, the majority rules. If we can convince more people that we're right, well, good. If we don't, well, guess what? We have to live with what the majority says. And people think that we're incapable of that, but you know something? I was the president of a labor union for 24 years. There were many times that I recommended an action and the body didn't want to do it. And as the president, I was obligated to do what the body wanted and pursue that particular position. But you, as an individual, You know, I want to dispel this rumor that everybody from a neighborhood has to be squarely inserted in the mayor's derriere to get anything done, because you've accomplished a lot, and the fact is that there have been mayors that you did not support and didn't particularly agree. Isn't that correct?
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, it's like a lot of projects that I do, it's ways for us to get it done. It's ways for us to get it done. And if the mayor don't support us, then that's his problem. It's like you represent the city and you're not supporting this project, but this project is going to happen. And that happened a lot of times. I didn't support Mayor Flanagan. Everybody knows that. I didn't support Mayor Flanagan. But through Mayor Flanagan, we had done a lot on our neighborhoods, and we had the support of him. Because he got elected, the next day, I was there knocking on the door and telling him, I have this project, which I didn't have a chance with this new mayor yet. We were supposed to have a neighborhood roundtable this month, and I don't know if you forgot or you didn't have time to book it. But again, it's going to happen next month. So that's. But that's not the different.
You actually expect the missing mayor?
That's another hour.
You expect the missing mayor to show up for anything? He had a meeting. What he touted this at his, State of the City address. I will take this plan out to every neighborhood association and senior group. Where was he last night? No call, no show. Seems to be the regular. He sets up appointments, doesn't call the people, and doesn't show. Or worse, calls late and says, "Where are you?" You know, you can't, Mr. Mayor, please wake up. The people want to meet with you, okay? We don't just present, we on this show, the three of us, okay? We don't just present the bitch and moan session, okay? We present the issues we see, and we come to you with some solutions. The problem is, when you bring the solutions and you tell people we can't do that, it's not that you can't do that, it's that you don't want to do it. And that's where the problem is.
CJ, people are so desperate to talk to him and to see him that people go into the neighborhood meetings. Like last night, usually it's like 10 people there at the meetings. Yesterday, probably had 30 people there because people are trying to get in touch with the mayor. They're trying to talk to the mayor. They're trying to hear the mayor. So they go to these events that we promote that he's going to be there, and he don't show up. So it's a big turnoff for the people and for the residents.
He did the same thing last month to another neighborhood group. He didn't show up. You were there. As a matter of fact, you were present at that meeting. And he didn't show up for that one either. So
the Niagara. Yes.
This is the missing mayor, and but he can show up at a park for the rededication of a park with political candidates. He showed up at a park for a rededication ceremony with Richard Cabaceres and Ron Cabral, and and veterans, and that's fine. But you know what? You gotta stop going for the selfies. We had a mayor. We had mayor selfie already. Okay, let's get mayor who's there, not mayor that we got to search.
And while we're on that topic, I have to say that during the State of the City, he threw out a lot of bouquets, but he missed the people that are down in the trenches doing the work, right? I know that bothers Carla.
I would like to have just a half an hour to talk about that famous speech that everybody was waiting for.
We'll give you one one of these days.
I mean, it's unbelievable. The message that he went across was, you make $100,000. Oh, thank you very much for everything you do for my city, everything you do for Fall River. Because guess what? You're not supposed to do anything and get paid $100,000. Forget about the small guys. If you own a big business at Airport Roads and you employ 5,000 people, thank you, because you're there, because you care about our city. When you don't have those jobs there, you're probably going to move out of Fall River. You don't care about Fall River. But on the other way, I don't care about the mom and pop shops that we have, the hosts altogether, probably 20,000 jobs around the city, which, if I want fresh bread in the morning, that's where I'm going to go, and so far and so forth. But important for me is the $5,000 jobs at Airport Road, because guess what? I have a speaker of you on my boards, you know, and I have to thank him.
Yeah, but you remember one thing, Carlos, poor people don't give big campaign contributions. They can't afford it. They're trying to make a living. But, you know, realistically, that is the glue that holds the city together. These are the people that are the last bastion in this city, because what we've got left is a lot of these small stores that are hanging on for a thread, and that's what upsets me so much. The fact that they continue to increase the tax burdens, they keep increasing the cost of living in this community for the residents. They take money out of our pockets so we can't go to these stores, and they make these stores much more difficult to survive. And, you know, there seems to be a disconnect. You know, there always has been in Fall River, and it really irritates me when they talk about the glory days of Fall River. Fall River never had any glory days. Fall River was a community that had 100,000 people working, almost chained to machines, that lived in squalor in apartments, and some of them at the time didn't even have running water. I've read numerous times in front of the council, things in front of the Senate, when people were living on $125 a year, and the senators couldn't believe that, while the rich people sat up in the highlands and collected their money, and were rich. The fact is that, look, we understand that, you know, rich people are important to politicians, but in reality, in this community, they do not have the impact. As you said, these companies that come in and employ 500, 1,000, 2,000 people, they're only here because they've got low wages. If once that wage dries up and their TIFs dry up, most of them disappear. You know, this is the problem. When you have cities like this that are in the lower end of the socioeconomic chain, what rebuilds these cities is small businesses, not large businesses. And there seems to be a total insensitivity to that, and an insensitivity to the people who are poor. The working poor and the people without a lot of money seem to be totally ignored. It's all about, you know, it's not pay as you throw for politicians in this city, is pay as we go.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chip. And the thing is, you know, all week I have been, you know, people think I don't do anything besides taking care of my business. I've also been investigating why Fall River can't attract big box stores. Why can't we get a Target? Why can't we get, you know, a Best Buy? And the reason being is our demographics are so poor, our crime rate is so high, and I'm going to quote one of the national associations for retailers and restaurants, and that is that the city of Fall River government is so unwilling to work with businesses that it is the highest recommendation available that the city should be avoided at all costs. That's not a quote, that's a paraphrase, but that's basically what it said. That's what Fall River is marketing. Fall River is marketing a city which cannot be worked with by business, which means cannot be worked with by job performers. So unless you've paid off the mayor, Carol Fiola, and umpteen number of other politicians, you don't get anything. That is the reality of Fall River.
All right, now I see we're getting close. Carlos, take us home. Come on, you got the floor.
No, I would like to say this, and this is a message for the next runners for mayor. Please don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't try to sell me a waterfront development, because by the time you have a good restaurant on the waterfront and development on the waterfront, all the small business will be out of business.
Well said, Carlos, and from a man who's out there every day working hard. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day.